भारत की शुरुआत सीरियल में उसी श्लोक से होती है। हाँ, पता है आपको अच्छी तरह से? हाँ, आइए बताइए। इधर से खड़े हो जाइए, बताइए।
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानं धर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्।
क्या अर्थ है इसका? जब जब पृथ्वी पे अधर्म बढ़ेगा तब तब मैं इस पृथ्वी पे जन्म लूंगा, अवतार स्वरूप। ठीक है, ठीक है। अभी ये तो इन्होंने बता दिया। कर्म को लेके भी गीता में एक बहुत बड़ा, बहुत अच्छा क्या है, श्लोक है। श्लोक कॉम्पिटिशन होता है ना संस्कृत में, बता सकते हो? मैं उसकी शुरुआत बताता हूं, किसी को पता है तो आके बताइए, बताइए। किसी को पता है वो? मैं स्टार्टिंग बताता हूं, आपको पता होगा शायद। कर्मण्येवा अधिकारस्य मा फलेषु कदाचन। आपको पता है, मैंने शुरुआत बताई। आपके पापा तो हिंदी संस्कृत के मास्टर है, अभिषेक जी, आपको पता है? हाँ पता है, सॉरी अभिकेश, पता है। तो फर्स्ट यू हैव टू डू राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस आफ्टर सच अ लॉन्ग पीरियड of 2 years. First thing, see, when I am asking questions, I get answer. But when you are writing answers, you know the concept. But when you are writing answers on the paper, in the book, 3 problems are there. Spelling mistake. What you want to write, that is not there, that is not reflected in your writing. मतलब आप जो लिखना चाहते हो वो वहां पे नहीं होता है। कहाँ पे नहीं होता है? आपके राइटिंग वर्क में, मीनिंग उसका चेंज हो जाता है। ये सेकंड प्रॉब्लम। थर्ड प्रॉब्लम, हैंड राइटिंग। ये प्रॉब्लम्स, व्हाई दिस प्रॉब्लम्स आर देयर? बिकॉज these problems are there because you did not do writing work extensively like we used to do in school days when physical classes were there. We used to write a lot, but now you are in practice of hearing, so you are giving answer, but you have to write also. And that writing practice you have to start every day. Understand? Write what thoughts are coming in your mind, whether it may be regarding science. For example, if transparent object is there, you have to write it in your copy. Okay, like that. Any experiment, light travels in straight line, you have to writing in your own words. Okay, so that practice you have to do. Writing practice is very important because you know that you're in our country, you know, exams are there and we are giving very much importance to exam, and exam is related with writing. So writing practice, many of you have lost, isn't it? So that you have to again start. Okay. Now we will start revision. I will ask some questions from the lesson light, shadows, and reflection. One by one, you come here and tell me the answer. Because I know you give the answer properly, but only problem is there in writing. So that slowly we will find out solution for that. Light, shadows, and reflection. Yes, very first question. What are luminous and non-luminous objects? Yes, Sai, come stand here and you answer. I will ask one by one. Yes, stand here.
Luminous objects means the objects which have own light.
Hmm.
Example, sun.
Hmm.
And the non-luminous objects are the objects that take light from another object. Example, like
That reflect the light of the that do not emit their own light. That are non-luminous objects.
Yes.
Example.
Moon.
Now one thing, please. Now you told me you know the answer. What you do after going home? You write it in your rough copy, isn't it? Like now I asked you about luminous and non-luminous objects. Like that, different concepts are there: shadows, solar lunar eclipse, reflection, lateral inversion, lots light travels in straight line, experiments that you start writing practice. Okay. Yes, you come here, Abhishek, stand and tell. Stand here.
Luminous objects are those objects who emits their own light. And for example, sun and stars. And non-luminous are objects those that do not emit their own light. For example, moon.
Very good. Gaurav, come here, stand here and tell.
Objects, luminous objects that give us emit light or own light like sun, and non-luminous objects that do not give or own light like moon.
Non-luminous object, they do not emit their
Own
own light.
light.
Okay. Then anybody want to come here and give this answer? Okay. Next question. What are opaque objects? Give example. Parth, stand here and tell. What are opaque objects? Stand here.
Opaque object means we can't see through the object. Example, book.
Very good. Go. Yes. Some new faces I want to see. Sai already gave. Gaurav already gave. Ambikesh already gave. Among girls, yes, please come here and tell the answer. What are opaque objects? Tell me.
Opaque objects are not we can opaque objects are that object that we cannot see throughout.
We cannot see through it. Why we cannot see through it? Because
It is not.
light cannot pass through it. Example.
Wall.
Example.
Wall.
Okay. Next question. What are transparent objects? Give example. Yes. Parth is raising hand. I will give opportunity to Parth. Yes. Very well done, Parth. In these videos you have seen and you started speaking. Earlier he was not coming, but now he is coming.
Transparent
Good.
object means we can see through it. Example, glass.
Very good. Very good, Parth. Keep it up.
Sir.
Okay. Yes, Ambikesh.
Transparent objects are those objects from which light can completely pass through it. For example, glass and windows.
Okay. The next, what are opaque objects? Give example. Yes, yourself. These two are sitting. They are not coming here. Your turn over. No, please. What are opaque object over? Now what I have?
Translucent.
Sir, okay.
Transparent. Translucent. Yes. What are translucent objects?
Translucent objects are objects that we can't see
We can't see.
through it.
We can't see through it. That is opaque.
Okay.
Sir,
Sir, blur. Sir, blur.
we can't see completely.
Let her think. Let her interpret. Then what? See, you are in intermediate position. Opaque means you cannot pass through it. Transparent means pass through it. Okay. Then what will be translucent? Tell. Yes, Sai.
Translucent objects are those objects which we can see but not properly.
Why? Why?
Because that are example.
Example no. Why? If you can't see through it properly, why? Ambikesh, you have to think over it. Why?
We can't see through properly through it because light does not completely pass through.
When the light is passing through it, what it will become?
Transparent.
When it is not passing completely through it
Opaque. Translucent. Proper.
and completely blocked.
Opaque.
Okay. Then the next one, that is regarding for shadow. What is shadow? What is shadow? Yes, you come here. Stand here and tell what do you understand by the word shadows?
A shadow is that we can see through the light of that, and we cannot see the shadow when lights are off.
We cannot see the shadow when lights are off, and we can see the shadow when lights are on. So what it indicates? It indicates that we need light to see the shadow. Okay, light is the need. Now, light is coming from the object. Light is the need. You told very correct. When shadow is formed, when shadow is formed.
When light falls on opaque object.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Parth. When shadow is formed.
When light falls on opaque object.
What will happen to the light? Whether that light will go further? Whether that light will go further? No. Then what will happen? Behind that opaque object, what will happen on the surface?
Shadow is
When the light is blocked by the opaque object, then what happens? Shadow is formed. Okay. Yes, Gaurav, now you can come and tell. Parth, you go beta. Very good. You go. What is shadow?
Sir, when light falls on the opaque object, that shadow is formed.
That shadow is formed because opaque object it blocks the
Shadow.
light.
Blocks light.
Suppose light is coming from here from the tube light. My hand is there. My hand is what kind of object? Transparent.
Opaque. Sir.
That light is blocked.
Yes.
That shadow is formed here
Yes, sir.
on the green board.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now next question.
Sir,
What are the requirements for the formation of shadow? Shadow formation and its requirement. कौन सी रिक्वायरमेंट? जैसे कि आपका नाम क्या है? पल्लवी, पलक बड़स्कर. 2 साल हो गए तो थोड़ा थोड़ा अभी नाम भी भूल गए. तो पलक ने अभी बताया, कि डार्क देश में शैडो फॉर्म नहीं हो सकती. तो रिक्वायरमेंट कौन सा है? पलक ने कौन सा बता दिया ऑलरेडी रिक्वायरमेंट? लाइट का. Yes.
Opaque object.
Then you come and justify your answer. You come and justify. What?
Light, then hand, then
Hand?
football, hand, sir.
You write generalize your answer, not specific.
Football and cardboard.
Any opaque object.
Opaque.
Generalize only opaque object. And what other thing we need?
Light.
Sir, opaque object and light.
Opaque object and light, and where shadow will be formed?
On the wall.
On the surface.
That we call
On the surface. Yes.
that surface. Okay.
The light will be bounces and on the surface it will fall.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
you come. You tell.
The material required to make a shadow
For the formation of
for
shadow.
the formation of shadow, first we want a source of light, for example light, and then we want an opaque object, for example a football, and then we want a screen, for example floor, and the shadow is formed.
Now suppose the bird is flying at the height.
Yes, sir.
Whether shadow is formed?
No, sir. No, sir.
Why?
Because
You come and tell me. Why? Which thing is not there? So there. In this
Sir,
case, shadow is
the
not
surface.
formed. Huh?
The surface is not there.
Screen,
Screen
surface,
is not there.
or surface is not there. You are. Huh?
Sir, screen is so far.
Yes, sir.
Screen is land and the land is so far.
Screen is land and land is so.
So far, yes.
That is the reason that we can't see the shadow of birds flying very high. Okay. Now, after the concept of shadow, two natural, phenomena which is taking place in our nature, that is solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. That is related with the concept what we studied now. We have already seen solar eclipse को क्या कहते हैं हिंदी में? What we call it? सोलर eclipse, सूर्य ग्रहण. अभी मुझे ये बताइए, now you tell me how you can compare this shadow formation, its requirement, and eclipse, how these eclipses are formed. Both you have to compare. Okay, Sai, come and tell me.
Sir, when in between the sun and earth, when the moon comes, so that process is called solar eclipse. And when
Okay, now tell me here, source of light is what?
source of light is sun.
Okay. Other requirement,
Other requirement is
opaque object is what?
moon.
And the screen, that is the surface where the shadow will be formed. Earth. So can you relate it with the concept what we studied just now, the requirement for the formation of shadow? Okay, very good. Now what kind of eclipse is that?
Solar.
Solar eclipse. Now tell me, जब भी सूर्य ग्रहण होता है, सोलर इक्लिप्स होता है, तो मान्यताएं है कि बाहर मत निकलिए, खाना मत खाइए, पानी मत पीजिए,
Sir, that's not true.
टेम्पल बंद कीजिए. ये सब सही है क्या?
No, sir. That's
क्योंकि ये एक कैसा फिनोमिना है? शैडो फॉर्मेशन. ओके, मून इज कमिंग इन बिटवीन सन एंड अर्थ, द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ मून शैडो ऑन द अर्थ. Okay, that is solar eclipse. Now explain the other concept of lunar eclipse, comparing it with the formation of shadow. Lunar eclipse means what? Ambikesh.
lunar
Eclipse. बोलो. Eclipse.
Eclipse is formed when the moon is in earth is come between the sun and the moon.
Now tell me, what is the screen here?
Sir, moon.
What is the screen? Moon. Very good. What is the opaque object here?
Earth.
And what is the source of light?
Sun.
Now, what will happen? The shadow of the earth will fall on moon. Then, can you see the moon?
No.
We can't see the moon on lunar eclipse. Understand?
Sir.
चंद्र ग्रहण. और चंद्र ग्रहण के बारे में भी बहुत सारी मान्यताएं हैं. वो सही है क्या? वो सही नहीं है. लेकिन ऐसी उन मान्यताओं में ऐसी बहुत सारी मान्यताएं वो जो सही भी है. हम लोगों की आदत क्या है, बहुत बार सूर्य ग्रहण में डायरेक्ट सूर्य को देखना नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि किरणें ब्लॉक हो गई है। जब सूर्य थोड़ा निकला तो थोड़ी जगह से किरणें आ रही है, पावरफुल किरणें होती है, ठीक है, और उससे आपके आंखों को नुकसान भी पहुंच सकता है। ओके, सो इस तरह से नहीं बोल रहा हूं ये, देखिए बहुत सारी बातें ऐसी होती है कि जो सही भी होती है और बहुत सारी बातें सुपरस्टिशन भी होती है, अंधविश्वास, ठीक है, लेकिन बहुत सारी बातें विश्वसनीय भी होती है। तो हमें साइंस में व्हाट वी हैव टू लर्न, वी हैव टू रिमूव द सुपरस्टिशियस थिंग्स एंड वी हैव टू टेक आउट logical things which can be justified. There is reason behind it. Such things we have to accept. It is not that we don't accept anything. We have to accept after justifying the things. Okay, now solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, formation of shadow is over. Now I am having a box in front of you. What is the shape? Is it cube or is it cuboidal? Cuboidal. You studied in maths. What is the difference between cube and cuboidal shape?
Cube.
Sai, come and explain.
Means cube is
What will happen? Hold this.
the shape and the vertical of the cube is less and the
No.
size of
That is not cube. Cube मैथ्स में आप लोगों ने पढ़ा है
cube
बेटा।
is made up of squares.
हाँ, all very good Ambikesh, very nice. Ambikesh,
Sir, and cube
now tell me, is it a square, this surface?
No, sir.
What is that?
Rectangle.
So what is this?
Cuboid.
Cuboidal. Maths you might have studied. Now just I will tell about pinhole camera and you have to make the pinhole camera and you have to bring tomorrow. Okay, how many of you will make? And you have to bring it tomorrow because that topic already we studied and in revision now. If you do that, you can understand it very properly. एक चाइनीज प्रॉवर्ब है, उसको पकड़ के रखिए, तो आपको पिनहोल कैमरा कैसे बनाना है बताऊंगा। एक चाइनीज प्रॉवर्ब है, अगर हम किसी चीज को सुनते हैं तो भूल जाते हैं, अगर हम कोई चीज देखते हैं तो क्या होता है, याद रहता है, अगर हम कोई चीज करते हैं तो हम अच्छी तरह से वो चीजें समझ जाती है। We understand the things and when we understand the things we will not forget such things throughout the life. हमेशा याद रखिए, अगर आपने कोई चीज अच्छी तरह से समझ ली है तो ये गारंटीड है कि आप जिंदगी भर वो कंसेप्ट नहीं भूलेंगे, ठीक है। साइकिल चलाते चलाते आपने बैलेंसिंग समझ लिया, हैंडल समझ लिया, एक बार सीख लिया तो 10 बार साइकिल चलाना पड़ रहा है क्या? नहीं, आप जिंदगी भर नहीं भूले, ठीक है। जैसा कि अभी ट्रांसपेरेंट और ओपेक, ट्रांसलूसेंट, सूर्य, सोलर एक्लिप्स, लूनर एक्लिप्स का कंसेप्ट समझ में आ गया तो भूलेंगे क्या आप? वो करके उसके बाद करके भी देखने का तो नहीं भूलेंगे। चाइनीज प्रॉवर्ब that is very correct. Now you have to make pinhole camera, take a cuboidal, okay, box, cut one piece, paste here butter paper, this is our screen, then here make a pinhole. pinhole इसलिए कि पिन से किया है, इसीलिए वो क्या हो गया? pinhole हो गया, यहाँ पे pinhole। Okay, your pinhole camera is
Ready.
just cover it with some black paper, burn the candle, face the pinhole towards flame, the image of the flame will be formed on the butter paper. And we have already studied, we have already seen what kind of image will be there. Yes, this is revision we are doing, so I expect answer from you.
Inverted.
Inverted, very correct. Yes, again,
Inverted.
inverted
And
image,
real.
real image, real, inverted, and whether it will be big or
Small.
बड़ी इमेज तैयार होती है उसमें,
Small.
और बहुत कम लाइट जा रही है अंदर, पिन होल है, तो फेंट इमेज तैयार. Now anybody can tell me how to make the pinhole camera? Raise your hand, come here and tell me how to make pinhole camera. अभी मैंने बड़ी सरल शब्दों से मैं बताया है, बहुत सिंपल है. एक क्यूबॉइडल, हाँ आइए बताइए.
Cut the one surface of the cuboidal box,
हाँ.
and after that
हम्म.
paste a butter paper
हम्म.
in this surface, and it will be plain surface.
हम्म.
Take another surface of the box and put a pinhole.
हम्म.
Then if you will see, so the
What you will see?
if the light passes in the
What you will see?
so candle.
Candle, burning candle, flame of the candle.
Yes, sir.
Where you have to face this pinhole?
Pinhole
Towards?
towards butter paper.
No.
Candle.
Towards candle. That's why I am telling. Tomorrow you do. Okay. And what kind of image will be formed?
Inverted and real.
Real inverted image will be
Form.
understand. This is also there in our syllabus. So today what we have completed revision of the lesson light and reflection. I told you about luminous object, I told you about non-luminous object, I told you about transparent, translucent and opaque object, I told you about shadow, I told you about the lunar and solar eclipse, I told you about the pinhole camera. And tell me, when I stand in front of the mirror, what I see in the mirror?
Reflection.
My reflection. What do we call the picture which is formed at on the mirror? What is the word for that? What is the word for that? When you stand in front of the mirror, what you see, you see your reflection, but what is the picture that is formed on that mirror? It's called image. Image. And if you stand in front of the mirror, if you raise your right hand, what is if you raise your left hand, such kind of image, it is called laterally inverted